I'm Kenan Wilsher. I'm the creative director on Good Boy at Observer Interactive. This is Pippin. Pippin's a pugapoo, which is a bit of a mix. Pippin is now, not long ago, turned 1. She's a right little ball of energy, and she's my best mate. Aren't you, Pippin, eh? It's a bit devastating having to make a game about how much you love dogs and then you're not able to have a dog yourself through circumstances. Good Boy's the only rover in the game that isn't tied to any of the development team's dogs. And so that's sort of really good for players as well that might not have dogs themselves or that do have dogs and they want to sort of imprint their dog onto Good Boy. We have this relationship between Good Boy and the human in the game, and the human's this androgynous character, and Good Boy doesn't have the same memories like all the other rovers do on the planet, so you can really sort of imprint that relationship between yourself being the human and Good Boy being your dog on this distant planet. We always knew that the concept for the narrative of how these two meet was it was meant to be like two lost souls meet when they both need each other the most, because that seemed to be the narrative that was universal with so many of the staff when they had met their dogs. Like, I think that's why the relationship between them from the start sort of really just naturally gels well. Yeah, no, it's fantastic to see, and especially because I have such a hand in helping to do that as well. The process of getting all the development team to sort of create bios for their dogs to help sort of inform the art and the animations and the narrative has been really, really exciting. One of my personal contributions to the actual development is that I made all the rovers in 3D, so it was nice to translate the concept art that was created into a 3D model and then pass off to the animators to then animate and bring them full of life. For me personally, the best moment is being able to show like the first sort of renders, the 3D characters to all the development team, because it's their dog brought to life in a rover. And again, it's like this meta-narrative that the Leica program exists within the game that allows people to immortalise their dogs, but now all the development team get to immortalise their dogs as the rovers in the game. So it's this really lovely experience. It's really nice that we've been able to do it, and to me, it means more than just the game, because it was an opportunity for me to bring all my friends together to make something that we all love and spend time with my friends and the dogs. Isn't that right, Pippin? Eh? Yeah, there's a lot. Pikmin was like one of the biggest ones. A lot of the narrative stuff stems from a lot of other games that you'd see, like Animal Crossing, for example, and all the relationships that you form with the villagers in the game. And then just a bunch of like other stuff to do with like small loops in the game, like you're obviously capturing creatures and then researching them for points to upgrade your chassis and upgrade your tools. And that's something obviously we look to Dredge for close inspiration for. So there's a sort of like an amalgamation of different games that had really nice loops or bits of gameplay mechanic that we thought, that'd be nice, but what if you did it like this? It's nice when you look back in retrospect to see the progress that you make, but you know, in the moment when you're trying to get there, it's always quite stressful. It's always, you know, you always think, oh, we want to do this and we want to do that. When you see players with smiles on their faces when they meet all the characters for the first time, I think that's something that's really special. That like they suddenly, because it's strange to tell people, especially that don't own a dog, like you know the kind of attachment that you have to something like this with something that's so personal of ours. But when people play it, all of a sudden they seem to get it and they have that big beaming smile on their face and they form those bonds with them like we form bonds with them. So yeah, it's really lovely. Oh, she'd melt within an hour. I don't think that she could deal with it. She'd just want to be playing all the time. Although we do share similar eating habits, I do wolf down my food and she will, I honestly don't even think she chews half the time. But yeah, the game would never get made, put it that way. I actually used to work with Matty, who's our design director, and Harry, who's our producer, and eventually we were just talking about this idea for a little Space Rover game, and then eventually I was just persuaded to start the company on my lunch break at my own job. We managed to partner with Team 17, and then we were just able to, you know, bring everyone on board that was really interested in making the game, and it just allowed us to make this crazy studio that's making the robot dog game. And it's just sort of been a weird experience because now, you know, I think the Christmas party that we had, we went for a meal and looking down the table, we were like, oh, the joke's gone too far now. Terra 2 was just the original working name, but if you actually break it down, you're essentially saying Earth 2, which isn't the most creative name in the world, but to the human, this is Earth 2. It's very, you know, human-like, it's very Earth-like. And that's the point, it leans into the fact that we wanted familiar yet alien, so the stuff that you'll see is not necessarily human plant life. The most important thing for me is that I just can't wait to see players playing the game. I think that's the one thing that all developers look forward to, is seeing people get their hands on it. I think we've created something that, especially with the audience that we have, is going to really resonate well, and people are going to really love it. And even people who might not have expected to enjoy it as well. So I'm really excited to see people get their hands on it.